Once again, cool, overcast, and very foggy here in Chicago as we get you set for Chicago Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. It's Game 2 of a 3-game weekend series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. A nice 5-4 win for the Cubs yesterday to start this 6-game homestand. And Bob, we're going to go back to the Marlon Byrd trade. We know Marlon got off to a tough start before he was dealt to Boston. The Cubs are not hitting a ton of home runs in terms of their outfielders, but some higher averages since that deal.
Yeah, they're getting some production out of the guys that are playing the outfield right now. Marlon Byrd just got off to the horrible start and unfortunately was taking at bats away from a couple of these guys. But now that they're getting more regular playing time, the numbers are starting to improve.
And Joe Mather, with a couple of big pinch hits the last 2 days, is in the lineup playing center today. Matt Garza's not in the lineup. He's been pushed back at least until tomorrow, dealing with illness right now. So Chris Volstad will pitch on normal rest.
And Chris Volstad needs to avoid that one bad inning. It seems like every start, and usually in the first inning, he has that one bad one that really sets him off on a bad foot.
Left-hander Chris Capuano has really resurrected his career. A 2-time Tommy John surgery survivor, off to a very good start. We'll see what he does against the Cubs.
Yeah, real good numbers against the Cubs in his career, and off to a great start this season.
So yesterday the Cubs held off the Dodgers and they sent LA to their third loss over their last 4 games. Matt Kemp and company will try to even up this series. The Dodgers and Cubs in Game 2 next.
Brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, 75 years being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Toyota. Right now, you can get a lot for less at your local Toyota dealer. Official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The new wireless receiver from AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. BMO Harris Bank. Helping money make sense. BMO Harris Bank. NA member FDIC. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Lights are on as we just passed noon. Misting, very foggy once again. And the wind is coming in out of the north as Chris Volstad will move up a day. Now, the Cubs had a rainout Tuesday in Cincinnati, so this will be on his normal day in terms of rest. He last pitched on Monday in Philadelphia. Matt Garza iffy for tomorrow. battling a virus that seems to be going through the Cubs clubhouse. If he can't go, it'll probably be left-hander Travis Wood, who would be summoned from Iowa. Let's get the Dodgers Southwest starting lineup written out by Donnie Baseball. Don Mattingly, their manager. Dee Gordon, Mark Ellis, Matt Kemp at the top. Andre Ethier in the cleanup spot. Bobby Abreu makes his first start as a Dodger. He signed yesterday. Big day for Jerry Hairston against his former team in Game 1. Loney's at first. Matt Trainer, the catcher, with Chris Capuano on the mound.
Cubs defensively will line up exactly like yesterday, with the exception of Joe Mather in center field. It'll be Soriano in left and DeJesus in right. Stuart Castro, Barney, and LaHair once again across the infield, third to first. Giovanni Soto behind the dish. Big, tall right-hander Chris Volstad. We talked about it in the open of the show, Len. Seems like he has one bad inning every ball game where either bad luck hits him, location eludes him, and he just can't seem to stop the skid.
Tim Timmons will call the balls and strikes. Ohio native and a former Buckeye. Jeff Kellogg, the crew chief. Eric Cooper and Marty Foster are on the bases. Volstad trying to snap a personal 8-game losing streak, covering 16 consecutive starts without a win, and those are those bad innings.
A couple of times in the first inning he surrendered 4 runs, once to the Reds, once to the Phillies. Fourth inning against the Cardinals he allowed 4, and the 6th inning against St. Louis another time he allowed 4.
Here we go, a sinking fastball outside on Dee Gordon, who went 1 for 4 with a stolen base yesterday. Squares to bunt and takes the first strike, 1-1. Foul pop left field side and back to the seats. It's an early day for everybody, but the Dodgers, with their body clock, I guess it's 10 a.m. LA time. You have to learn to adjust in this game.
Yeah, you really do, Len. You used to talk about that back in the day. It's whatever time it says it is on the clock, wherever you are. Your body may react one way, but mentally you have to approach it as it's time to play ball.
.49 degrees and the wind out of the north at 5 miles an hour. Like he cracked his bat as he pops it up. And shallow right, it's Darwin Barney to make the catch.
Good guy to keep off the bases all series long. Dee Gordon, blazing speed, very similar to Tony Campana. 11 stolen bases on the season. Send him back to the dugout as often as you can.
The second baseman, Mark Ellis, reached twice yesterday, hit by a pitch and later walked. 0 for 2 officially. Sinker right down the middle for a strike. Well, the old cliche is fool me once, shame on you. So the question is, did you dress appropriately today, Bob?
Oh, yes, I did.
You did. That's a catch as LaHair dropped it as he was pulling the ball out of his glove. So a line out for Ellis. Well, good.
I'm expecting snow the way I dressed today. A soft liner right at Brian LaHair. Makes the catch, and the effort to take the ball out of his glove and throw it out around the horn. He lost it for momentarily, but Jeff Kellogg said, that's a catch.
Here's Matt Kemp. 1 for 4 in the opener with an RBI triple and a run in his final at bat. Average went down 7 points yesterday from 411 to 404. High fly ball in and out of the fog, and it'll drop into the glove of David DeJesus. So Volstad with a 1-2-3, top of the first. They're hitting .320 with men in scoring position over their last 7. DeJesus with that big day yesterday. Joe Mathers in center. Castro, LaHare, Soriano 3 through 5. Ian Stewart is at third. Jeff Baker probably would have started today against Chris Capuano, but he's under the weather. You go Barney, Soto, Volstead at the bottom.
A couple of changes for Don Mattingly in the Dodgers starting lineup today. Bobby Abreu getting his first start as a member of the Dodgers in left field. Matt Kemp in center. Andre Ethier over in right field. Hairston, Gordon, Ellis, and Loney third to first across the infield. Matt Trainer, who has pretty much evolved into the valet catcher for left-hander Chris Capuano. See his assortment of pitches. And the interesting thing, Len, you mentioned two-time Tommy John surgery survivor. His velocity is actually better this year than it has ever been at any point in his career.
Like that bionic elbow, 2002 and then 2008 for the elbow reconstruction. And a strike on DeJesus. Reached 4 times yesterday. 3 times on hits. And he fouls that one back quickly. 0-2. Be interesting to see, Bob. Obviously it depends on how many opportunities the Cubs have against Chris Capuano. But if they do get their faster guys on base, he is as good as any pitcher at controlling the running game.
Over 900 innings in his major league career. He's allowed 24 stolen bases. Got a variety of different pickoff moves that he'll show runners at first base. Plus, he's very quick to home plate.
And he's no dummy.
Yeah, he's way too smart to play this game.
High school valedictorian at Cathedral High in Massachusetts, and then graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Duke University with a degree in economics. DeJesus pops it up. You better keep your eye on the ball today, and it's dropped. And DeJesus is going to end up at second. Gordon and Hairston couldn't figure out who was going to catch it. I'll tell you, the fog is so low here. I mean, the ball just almost disappears in a cloud of white, and the 2 guys on the left side, nobody caught it.
It looked like Hairston gave way to the shortstop, D. Gordon. Once again, pop-up priority drills. That's the shortstop's ball all the way in that hole. Yeah, with no sun to deal with here today, and DeJesus ends up at second base. Take it.
Well, Joe Mather, who homered as a pinch hitter yesterday, doubled as a pinch hitter the day before in Cincinnati. He tried to bunt toward first and hit it foul.
In his last couple of at-bats as a pinch hitter off of Dale Swaim's bench, a double in Cincinnati and a home run yesterday. You don't want to do that too much. Become too valuable as a secret weapon off the bench. Joe would much prefer to get his spot starts and get some more at-bats.
Second start in center, his 6th start overall. Played a lot of center in spring training.
And when the manager tells you you're too good to start, valuable to have on that bench late in the game. A big home run in the ball game yesterday, and really hit it to the only place the ball was really jumping was toward that well area in right field. Just did tuck it into the front row above Andre Ethier. Big pitch hit home.
Teammates call him Super Joe. He pops it up. Shallow right. DeJesus is going to tag, but well, no, he's not now. And caught by Andre Ethier.
Needless to say, every high fly ball is going to be an adventure as long as the conditions stay the way they are right now. Ellis calling for it as he backed out into right field, but Ethier calls him off at the last instant and is able to hang on to the ball that time.
Now Starlin Castro, only Cub to have started every game. 27 in a row to start the year. You may remember 2006 when Capuano was with Milwaukee. He went 3-0 against the Cubs that year. Did not allow a run in 26 innings, covering 3 starts. That was prior to his second elbow surgery. Say cheese.
Pizza.
Kick, and the 0-1 is inside. The Dodgers, Bob, have 3 lefties in their rotation. Cubs will only see one of those lefties this weekend. The other 2 are Clayton Kershaw and former Cub Ted Lilly. Cubs haven't faced a lot of lefties.
Yeah, you're not sure about that. Just ask Jeff Baker and Joe Mather, guys that get most of their starts against a left-handed starter. Just haven't seen many in the early going this year.
Ground ball will get through and in the left. DeJesus will hold at third to make sure that ball got past the infielders.
Went down and got it. Bluff steal attempt out there at second by David DeJesus, and then held his ground, only able to advance as far as third base as Abreu gets it back in quickly.
And that flu bug is going around the Cubs clubhouse. Seems like it happens to every team once a year. And for the Cubs, it's happened early. Like you have to put on a hospital mask when you walk through there. It's just so hard to avoid with all the travel and the lack of off days, that if 1 or 2 guys get it, everybody else eventually will.
You spend so much time together in the clubhouse, on buses, on airplanes, like a kindergarten class. If 1 or 2 kids get sick, they're all going to get sick.
1-1 on LaHare.
Very unusual platoon splits for the left-hander Chris Capuano. And normally when you see these kind of numbers, there's an easy explanation. Right-handers hitting only 188 this season. Lefties hitting 318. And generally that means he's a lefty that features a real good straight changeup. We talked about his pickoff move to first, his quick delivery to home plate. He'll set up a base runner over there at first. He'll show you a couple of bad moves trying to entice you to take an extra step on your lead, and then he'll show you the good move.
Outside, 2-1.
I'll tell you, he's a different animal now than when I had him back in the 03 season for the Arizona Diamondbacks. His rookie year in the big leagues. Had 3 different stints at the major league level. Pitched in 9 ball games, and if he got in a jam, he was going to try to throw harder, harder, harder.
A lot of young guys do that.
Yep.
It's a minor thing, but you notice the sleeve lengths are not the same. I suppose the Cubs could argue that, right?
I imagine they could.
Swing and a miss. 3-2. Generally, for a pitcher, you either have to have long sleeves or short sleeves. And he has both.
Well, you understand the one on his left arm, his throwing arm. He wants to cover his elbow and try to keep it warm as he's working out there on a cool, windy day. But I don't understand why the short sleeve on the right side. He's a lefty.
As with any good lefty, in terms of a pickoff move.
Oh, my.
Whew. He has a few of them, right? He's not going to show you his best one right off the bat.
Well, he has a step-off move. He's got a high leg kick pick to first. He's got a slide step pick to first and everything in between. He's worked very hard on that aspect of his game, controlling the opposing team's best base runners.
3-2. And Castro takes off. Ball 4 to load him up. So an error, a single, and a walk. Bases loaded, and here's Alfonso Soriano. Had a great day yesterday. 3 for 3 with a couple of doubles, 2 knocked in. He added a walk. He's still looking for his first home run. So Capuano in a first inning jam with 3 on and 1 out. Down the middle. And an early look at our AT&T UVerse multi-view.
Toronto does have 1 career home run against the Dodger left-hander. A good time to get number 2 right here. Get on the board for this 2012 season.
The 0-1 delivery way out in front. That ball rocketed over the Cubs dugout. 0-2.
Bring your glove and a shield. That ball was hit like a bullet right back over the Cubs dugout.
Everybody's all right. Glancing blow. The Bender took a couple of seconds, but he's all right. Big 0-2 pitch. Got it. On the inside corner, according to Tim Timmons.
I don't know. Capuano will use that cutter inside on right-handed hitters. The ball looked like it started on the inside corner and just kept going further in.
Capuano doing all the talking here as trainer and Gordon meet him on the mound.
Maybe changing up the signs. A lot of times if you see a pitcher and catcher call in one of the middle infielders, that's a pretty good indicator that they're going to change the sequence of signs so that runner at second can't relay anything to the hitter.
Ian Stewart with 2 outs. Foul tip, strike 1.
And if you're a base runner at second base and see that particular meeting on the mound, you have to be a little extra careful about taking your secondary lead and even your primary lead at second base. Usually they'll call that shortstop in there. It seems so obvious, but they might say, hey, 3rd pitch of the sequence, we're going to do a no-look pick at second base.
You might notice Matt Trainor's not quite as much of him as we are used to seeing. The Dodger backup catcher lost about 15 pounds over the offseason. He said knees and hips take a little pressure off those areas. Just outside, 2-1.
Another cutter. And off the plate away this time to the left-handed hitting Ian Stewart. Capuano has 4 separate toe taps as he gets into his stretch position. Only 3 that time. I take it back.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, and it's 2-2.
That's something that has just become very popular over the last 2 or 3 years in baseball, especially with relief pitchers. It used to be you'd get your sign from a catcher, you'd go into a set position, plant your feet, and go. Well, there's always some kind of dance going on.
1, 2, 3, 4.
See?
Got him that time on the fastball, so Capuano gets out of it. We are scoreless.
Tuesday at Wrigley Field. Don't miss the action as the Cubs battle the Braves at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans will receive a Cubs t-shirt compliments of Chamberlain College of Nursing. As part of National Nurses Week, make sure to thank a special nurse in your life.
Underway here in the Dodgers second. 1-0 on right fielder Andre Ethier. 2-0. Ethier knocked in a run yesterday, leads the majors with 28. Dodgers today trying to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of 2012. 17-9, tied with the Washington Nationals for the best record in the National League. 3-1 pitch, ball 4, that's a leadoff walk.
Well, and Ethier would be one of those guys to analyze when we talk about clutch hitters. Is there such a thing? Now, granted, Andre Ethier is a very good hitter, period. But he hits .417 with runners in scoring position, .439 with runners on base, .313 close and late in a ball game, .370 from the 7th inning on. All numbers that would indicate that if there is such a thing as a clutch hitter, he might be one of them.
And a lot of those plate appearances with Matt Kemp aboard.
Yep.
Or after he homered, I guess.
After he high-fived him on his way back to the dugout.
Here's Abreu, signed yesterday. Came off the bench, pinch hit, played left field, went 0 for 2. Hit the ball really hard at the end of the game. It lined deep to right. And he gets his first start as a Dodger today, and he has always hit Cubs pitching. Going back to his Phillies days. .335 against the Cubs. Only Miguel Cabrera among active players with a higher batting average versus the Cubs. He went around 0-2. Reading some comments by Don Mattingly. He does not view Abreu as just a pinch hitter. He will get him some time. He'll be a part-time player, but we'll try to get him in the lineup occasionally, and he's in there today. They were together in New York, and Mattingly was on Joe Torre's staff. Volstad will check on Ethier. That kind of brings up a point, Bob, about the amount of movement in baseball today and the idea of carrying yourself a certain way, not burning bridges. You end up having essentially sponsors in other situations. So when you do get released or you're a free agent and the GM goes to your manager or one of your coaches, and that'll be a fair ball past Stewart, left field corner. Ethier to third. He's going to hold there with nobody out. It's a double for Abreu, and the Dodgers threatening big time. Second and third with nobody out. You know, Ned Colletti goes to Don Mattingly and says, you were with him in New York. What kind of guy is he? So it really, today more than any other time I think in baseball history, it behooves you to treat people well.
Absolutely. You never know when your paths are going to cross again, when you may need some help from a former coach or former manager or former teammate that's moved on to a different organization. You better watch who you tick off before you leave.
What a day for Hairston yesterday, and back in the lineup playing third again today. Second and third, no outs, and off the plate inside, ball one. Now in this spot, Ian Stewart probably playing as close to the third base line as you'll see him, because Hairston does tend to pull the ball. But with Abreu at the plate, you noticed he was way off that third base line, and occasionally a ball will get past him right down that line. But I talked to Ian today, and I said, has that been an adjustment for you with all the shifting? He said, no, actually, the last couple of years in Colorado with Rich Dower, I started to play more off the line and try to take away that 5.5 hole. And the other thing he said, Bob, was that he feels more comfortable diving to his right or toward the line. So that gives him even more confidence to cheat a little bit toward the hole. And he said the big key with the shifting is to make sure he and Starlin Castro keep the right spacing.
Yep.
There's a strike, 3-1.
Well, in the Bobby Abreu double, I think that was more a byproduct of Abreu's relatively few at bats in the early going this season. He just swung late and hit a ball right down the third base line. That is not normally where he would try to hit the ball, and that's not where his spray charts say he would normally hit the ball.
3-2. Look, I don't have the numbers, but I would guess the Cubs have taken away more hits with their shifting in that regard than they've let up. We don't tend to remember the balls in those holes that are turned into outs as much as the ones right down the line, which are more infrequent but show up more when they end up hits.
Yep.
Bounce back to Volstad, and he's going to make a nice play. He stared down Ethier, had to then hurry back to third, and he gets the out at first. Good comeback in that at bat. It was 3-0. And is Ethier okay?
Volstad actually faked a throw to third base, forcing Ethier to scramble back in on his belly, and then he throws to first for the easy out. But in the meantime, Andre Ethier had come a couple of steps down the line. He thinks there's going to be a play at third base, so he was going back into the bag hard and knocked the wind out of himself.
They will intentionally walk James Loney with Matt Trainer on deck. And here comes ball 4.
You're more likely to do that, Lynn, walk the number 7 hitter, get to the number 8 hitter if you're a sinker ball pitcher on the mound, because he's one ground ball away from getting out of this inning. If Chris Volstad were more of a fly ball type pitcher, you might not use that particular strategy right there. Plus, I think teams naturally pick on backup catchers. Matt Trainer, as you see, only 15 at bats on the season in 5 ball games. Try to take advantage of that lack of experience so far this year.
Swing and a miss. Say Matt is with his hometown team is somewhat accurate, but he grew up pretty close to Anaheim's ballpark. He was a big Angel fan growing up. Bob, Matt Trainer told me today as a kid he was at the ALCS game in 1986. Dave Henderson hit the home run off Donnie Moore. He remembers being there. He would have been 10 years old. 1-1 is outside. 2-1. The pitcher Capuano on deck. Borderline, and Volstad didn't get it, and it's 3-1. See what Bob's been talking about. The ground ball out has been his specialty. Just a little too much movement.
Yep. Try not to be quite so fine with that sinking fastball, as you could see on that replay. Tremendous late movement. Just kind of aim it for the middle of the plate. Let the movement take care of it. Almost the same location as the pitch before. That time Trainer fouled it off.
Now that's a straight fastball. Trainer hits it very hard somewhere, but just that little tail at the end with a foul ball. So it's 3-2 with the bases loaded and 1 out. Here it is. Driven to deep right. De Jesus is going to make the catch. 2 runners will tag. And it's a sacrifice fly for Trainer. Ethier in. Abreu to third, and it's 1-0.
Not a bad pitch that time from Chris Volstad. Unfortunately, it was up and out over the plate, and Trainer's approach was different on the 3-2 pitch than it was on the pitch before. Able to stay on it, get it in the air to David DeJesus for the first run of the game.
He brings up Capuano. And he drives one out into right center. This is trouble. Matt is going to have to chase it down. Abreu is in. Loney will score. How about that? Chris Capuano with a 2-run double. His first hit of the season.
Sinker up above the belt. Even opposing pitchers will tee that one up. Middle of the plate, up. Cubs were shading him to hit the ball to the opposite field, and he pulls it back to the gap in right center, clearing the bases.
Another 3-run inning for Chris Volstad. This has been his issue here early on in the season. The one bad inning. And what really hurts here, Bob, is the damage done at the bottom of the order. They call those 8 and 9 hitters in a lot of NL lineups the breather part of the lineup. Well, not the case today, as Trainer hit the sac fly, and then Capuano with a 2-run double. Well, 5 innings already this year, which he has allowed at least 3 runs. Bounce to LaHare. He'll step on the bag and the inning is over. But the Dodgers get 3 and lead it 3-0. For a Game 5 showdown at the UC. Coverage begins at 8 with McDonald's Bulls pregame live. Bulls and Sixers Game 5 Tuesday night at 8 from the United Center. Get the hometown call with Neil Funk and Stacey King only on Comcast Sportsnet. Bulls need to stop the injury bug, which has been a huge factor in that series. 3 runs for the Dodgers in the top of the second. And the Cubs will go to work. Bottom 3 in their order: Darwin Barney, Giovanni Soto, and Chris Volstad against Chris Capuano, who knocked in 2 with a double. And Barney looks at a strike. 0-2.
A huge gap in right center field for Darwin Barney. Ethier almost guarding the line in right field.
Foul pop, and Loney makes a really nice catch. He had to figure out where the end of the tarp was. You got the brick wall that kind of juts out near the bullpen. You got home plate down there. There's a lot to navigate.
That ball wasn't that high in the air to put all that into the computer, but Loney makes a nice running catch right over by the home plate area of the Dodgers bullpen.
Giovanni Soto takes a curveball for ball one. Cubs winning yesterday 5-4. They've now won 7 of their last 12. Dodgers in their first short rough patch of the year, having lost 3 of 4 on this road trip. Capuano from the third base side of that pitching rubber. And deals a fastball low and in, 2-2.
And we see that a lot with pitchers making adjustments where they start on the rubber.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
You don't see hitters make quite the same adjustments in the batter's box. It seems like years ago in the game, if you were facing what we would call a soft tosser, a guy that throws a lot of breaking pitches and a lot of changeups, batters would move up in the box closer to the mound. If you were facing a hard thrower, batters would move back as far as deep as they could in the box to give themselves as good a possible look as they could. I don't see any hitters changing their toe holds anymore. They stand in the same spot every at bat, regardless righty, lefty, hard thrower, soft thrower. But pitchers will make adjustments on that rubber depending on how their stuff is being attacked by the hitters.
Quickly 0-2 to Volstad. Capuano trying to make it 4 strikeouts in the last 5 batters. I'm going to go up. Not where Trainer wanted it, but Volstad took it. 1-2. To change up, swing and a miss to end the inning. 3-zip Dodgers after 2.
easy to pick the worst call by an umpire, but as far as Dale Swain was concerned, this was it in yesterday's ball game. Appeared to be a called strike 3. Might have been able to argue a check swing. Next pitch hits Ellis, sends him down to first base, bringing Bobby Abreu to the plate. Hit that line drive to the gap, and Dale Swain didn't even hardly get the words out of his mouth before he was ejected by home plate umpire Marty Foster.
One attempt by Mark Ellis came back up and hit him in the leg. That's foul. So his first ejection as a Cubs manager. And Dolis did get the save, the second of his career. Paul Maholm, by the way, at right knee, feeling a little better. Took that hard shot right off the knee. He's been hit a lot in his career. Gets ground balls. Is going to be in the line of fire.
Maholm's a guy that has himself in pretty good fielding position after he releases the ball, but as you said, a guy that throws a lot of ground balls. You're going to be a target out there on the mound.
0-2. Late swing by Ellis. Another 0-2 and a ground ball backhanded by Stewart. 1 foot in foul territory. No problem as he throws across for the out. See Wrigley Field through the eyes of former Cub players in our all-new VIP Living Legend Tour. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity gives you the chance to hear the stories from the players who lived them firsthand. For more information or to purchase tickets, call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit Cubs.com/tours. Kemp flied to right in the opening inning. See that closed stance, which you don't see a ton of these days. Two and 0 the count. Big birthday wishes today to a young but lifelong Cub fan as we get a look at Matt Kemp, who's been the Dodger Iron Man. Almost 400 in a row. Happy 5th birthday to Luke Hickey, rooting on the Cubs this afternoon. Deep center, Mather on the warning track. He's got it right near the 400 sign. Kemp thought he got it. I think everybody in the ballpark thought he had his 13th home run. They had a different sound.
Well, this is a different ballpark. With that wind blowing in, it's not going to carry heavy, misty air here today. I mean, this is a guy that's been hitting home runs at night in Dodger Stadium to center field. That just doesn't happen very often.
Ethier takes a slider for a strike. I'll congratulate Danny and Nicole Mahar, any one of our fine truck engineers. They welcomed in their first child, Finley Daniel Mahar.
All right.
Big Cub fan, we're told. Finley wanted to know if Dolis got his first save. And he did. 8 pounds 11 ounces for Finley. Two and 1 on Ethier, who started the 3-run Dodgers second with a leadoff walk. And he's ahead in the count here.
Not nearly as cute as that little baby, but big shout out to Chris Carlson and his group of yahoos here today in luxury box number 22, enjoying the Cubs game.
Ian Stewart, little bobble, but still time to get Ethier. And that ends the inning. 3-0 Dodgers in the third.
On defense. Really nice play to end that last half inning by Ian Stewart down at third base. A lot of English on that ball. Kept his feet moving, kept the ball in front of him, able to grab it on the second attempt and throw on in time for the out.
Second time through now. DeJesus reached on an error in the first inning. The Cubs would eventually load the bases with one out before Capuano wiggled off the hook. David wanted the bunt, took a breaking ball for a strike. And another birthday wish. Longtime Cubs senior account executive Jim Obojkowicz. Big Jim with a birthday.
He is big. And as part of our Comcast Sportsnet early warning system, Mother's Day is sneaking up on us, guys and gals. Don't forget Mom.
Good call. Well hit to right, but not well enough as Ethier falls it in on the track. So Mother's Day is a week from tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Because if it were tomorrow, your heads up a little too late for most.
Yeah. Cubs tickets are the perfect Mother's Day gift.
I would agree. Oh, 0-2. The trainer wants this one up. That'll be a fastball. It was actually below the belt and got the inside corner. We found early Tim Timmons is calling that pitch. Inside corner to a righty.
Or maybe a few inches off the inside corner to a righty. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, you're going to have to make an adjustment. If the umpire's going to call that pitch, you've got to be ready to protect against it.
Floated out into short right, and Ellis had time to go out and catch it. So Capuano settling in. He's retired 8 in a row.
Doritos Locos Tacos from Taco Bell.
Great to have you with us on this Saturday afternoon as the Cubs are home for a 6-game stay at Wrigley. After this series, the Braves come in. And it may be your last opportunity to see Chipper Jones in the big leagues. Braves won last night in a thriller in Denver, 9-8. A good hair day here at Wrigley.
Got a little too close to the cotton candy machine.
Two 2-0 on Bobby Abreu. Now 2-1.
We showed you in yesterday's ball game, Bobby Abreu recently signed after his release from the Angels and was wearing a red glove in the outfield. He's got that same red glove today. I would have to imagine that's costing him a little bit of money in Kangaroo Court.
I suppose he could argue I've got red numbers on the front of my jersey, but it's not a big part of the Dodger look. I mean, it's generally blue, just a little red splashed in.
Boy, and when you see him standing out there in left field with that red glove, that's all you notice. I mean, generally a ball player, a glove is just kind of part of their body. You don't even really know it's there until you look at Bobby Abreu in left field with that red carry-on bag hanging off his left arm.
Oh, it's funny. I never really thought about the red in the Dodger uniforms. The only red is that front number. That's it. Everything else is blue, blue and gray, blue and white. That's it. Soriano drifting and makes a nice running catch on the warning track.
So improved. So much better. Didn't even have to look back at the wall that time. He knew where he was positioned. He knew he would feel the warning track under his feet when he got that close to the vines, and never took his eye off that drive off the bat of Bobby Abreu. Nice catch.
Early NL action today. The Phillies lead the Nationals 1-0. They're in the bottom of the fourth. Oh, nice play by Stewart. That ball really kicked up on him, and he gets Hairston.
Now low to high, starts with his glove down a little below belt level, and when it took that last big hop, he was able to make the adjustment up and get Hairston at first base.
Nationals beat the Phillies 4-3 last night in 11 innings. Bryce Harper took 3 walks in that game. 19 years old. He's hitting 3rd in their lineup today.
Tell you what, it would not surprise me one bit to see Bryce Harper in Kansas City at the All-Star game.
High fly ball off the bat of Loney. Soriano grabs this one, and it's a 1-2-3, the second consecutive for Volstagg. Field. As Capuano gets ready for the bottom of the fourth. Dodgers lead 3-0, all their runs in the second. Brian LaHare will lead it off. He walked in the first. And ball 1. You had the Carlos Marmol situation come to a head on Thursdays. He had another rough outing, taken out of the closer role. You had Mariano Rivera suffer the knee injury for the Yankees. A lot of news involving big league closers this season. Ryan Madson out for the year before he even started with the Reds. 3-0 the count.
Heath Bell and his struggles down in Miami.
He blew another save chance last night. The Marlins did win 9-8 in 12 innings at San Diego. But he's only 3 for 7 in save opportunities. There's a strike. Chris Sale, the hard-throwing lefty, after 5 good starts, is going to become the White Sox closer because of some elbow issues. And LaHair pulls that one foul. He is not in that role just yet after coming out of the rotation. Houston Street has a lat injury, getting an MRI today. You mentioned Heath Bell, the blown save. Outside, ball 4. LaHair has walked twice. And let's check in on today's AT&T Mobility question. You're named the youngest player ever inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's a great question. Leadoff man on. Here's Soriano. The White Sox lost last night. Matt Thornton in the 9th gave up the Johnny Peralta game-ending 2-run homer in Detroit. Jake Peavy, back-to-back complete games, threw over 120 pitches last night. Swing and a miss. Peavy went 7 2/3 innings. He has a 1.99 earned run average through 6 starts.
We'll show you one of Chris Capuano's moves to first base. Brian LaHair with a very conservative lead over there anyway.
High on the fastball. Try to turn it here. Gordon Ellis late to Loney. Ellis kind of had to back up as LaHair was coming in hard at second base.
Third baseman number 2, Ian Stewart.
Occasionally that middle infielder will use the bag as protection against the sliding base runner. Ellis wasn't even in your picture there as Brian LaHair barely made it to second base. Not the prettiest slide I've ever seen, but it was effective. It made Ellis get out of the way. Rough crowd.
It is. Soriano takes over after the fielder's choice. Festive day today, Cinco de Mayo. And the fans getting into the spirit here at Wrigley Field.
I think they're getting into the spirits as well.
Yeah. Don't miss the action as the Cubs host the Braves is coming Wednesday here at Wrigley Field. Game time is 1:20, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will receive an exclusive limited edition Ryan Dempster bobblehead doll. Compliments of Pepsi. For more info and to order, go to Cubs.com/ Well, I read the totally wrong line there. Visit Cubs.com.
Oh, there you go.
I went to the next promo.
When in
No
doubt,
/ just Cubs.com.
when in doubt, go to Cubs.com. Well, this buzzing the tower. Fastball that got away. Actually, not that far inside, but Ian Stewart has to backpedal out of the batter's box to get out of the way of that high fastball. Slide step pickoff move that time. Some pitchers will only pick it first on a high leg kick, and then they use the slide step when they go home. But Capuano, he got a bunch of different moves. He disguises it very well. Another slide step pick attempt.
Stewart is out. The strike call by Timmons was a called third. He also may have gone around. Doesn't matter. It's a strikeout either way. 6 Capuano. We'll see where the pitch was. It was a called strike.
It looks further inside because of the way Matt Trainer had set up on the outside corner and then had to reach back across the plate for that pitch right on the inside corner. Don't usually get that call. And you miss your spot by 2 feet, even if it is on the corner. Most of the time, because of the way the catcher has to reach for the ball, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. That was the quick step off pickoff move. We should be counting these.
Ball high in the air to right over near the line. It's Ethier. Leadoff walk, but the Cubs cannot capitalize. Still 3-0 LA.
And free food. The Cubs get a base hit in the 5th inning. Fans with a base hit for Burrito's game card win a free entree.
As you said the other day, your 2 favorite 4-letter words. start with F.
Free food.
That trainer who gave the Dodgers a 1-0 lead in the second will start the top of the fifth. Smacks a single into center. Capuano, who doubled home 2 in that 3-run second, most likely try to bunt Trainer into scoring position.
4 sack bunts on the season already for Capuano. He's showing bunt very early. We know the St. Louis Cardinals under Tony La Russa like to show bunt early, then bring it back, and then ultimately get it back out there and bunt, which is exactly what Capuano is doing.
Go 2-4 on the sacrifice. I'll tell you, this is a good one today. Our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. Youngest player inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Maybe Sandy Koufax?
I think that's a good guess, given the fact the Dodgers are in town.
Okay,
yeah,
there we go, because his career ended early.
Yep. I think next on the list would have been Lou Gehrig for the same reason. His career was cut short because of ALS. And if I'm not mistaken, Kirby Puckett is third on the list of youngest players to be inducted.
Gordon with a fair ball rolled past LaHair, and it's 4-0. Just like that, and again, it's appropriate. His dad's nickname was Flash. In a flash, he's standing at second.
Well, you have to respect the fact that D. Gordon might try to bunt for a base hit, and with that in mind, Brian LaHair was playing right at the edge of the infield grass, and Gordon just slapped it by him down into that right field corner. Really died on the wet grass out there, and by the time DeJesus can get to it, D. Gordon is chugging into second with his 5th double of the season.
We'll have to keep an eye on Gordon, and he just faked toward third. One of the greatest lefties of all time. 4 no-hitters, 1 perfect game. The last time the Cubs were no-hit, 1965. "12 years in the majors, won 25 games or more in 3 of his final 4 seasons." You talk about the greatest swan song in the history of baseball, 1966, 27-9, a 1.73 ERA.
And certainly it isn't very fair, but much like every center fielder for the San Francisco Giants will be the next Willie Mays, and every third baseman for the Cubs will be the next Ron Santo, every left-handed pitcher in the Dodger organization that has success will be labeled the next Sandy Koufax.
Gordon will be safe. Ball got out of the glove of Stewart. We'll get another look to see if they would have had him had he held on to the ball. It was close.
It looked very close. It looked like the ball was going to beat him to third base. Gio goes behind the right-handed hitter, puts the throw right on the money. I think if he's able to hang on to that ball, they'd get the out call at third base.
Gordon's 12th. He's now tied for the big league lead. 3-1 on Ellis. Infield in, and ball 4.
Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, standing near the phone to the bullpen, just wanted to get a confirmation from the skipper who it's going to be. Lester Strode on the receiving end of that call, and will relay the appropriate information. Sean Camp right there taking off the jacket.
Here's Kemp. And a strike on the inside corner. One other note about Sandy Koufax and arm trouble, the reason his career ended so early. If you do look up his stats, you're going to notice early on, after Brooklyn moved to LA, the Dodgers, the ERAs were high at first because they played at the LA Coliseum. The left field wall there was about 87 feet from home plate.
That would put it in front of third base.
I mean, he was 8-13 one year, 1960. He had a 4.48 ERA in that 1958 season, first year in Southern California. And I don't think at that time there was a lot of talk about park factors in terms of how it affects the stats. High fly to center. Gordon's going to tag and easily score as Mather going to try to keep Ellis at first, and he will do that. Kemp with an RBI sac fly, 5-0.
Second time today, Matt Kemp has hit a deep drive to straightaway center field. Last time was just a routine F8. This time it produces a run.
See the left, Bob, at the Coliseum. It was 251 feet. They had a 42-foot screen. Try to lessen the impact of the home runs. 251.
100 feet shorter than left field here at Wrigley Field, right down the line.
You'd have loved hitting there. I don't know against Koufax, but ball gets away. Ellis takes off. That ball rolls into the dugout.
Boy, the Cubs pitchers have had their issues defensively with pickoff moves, fielding bunts. Ball actually hit Ellis as he was diving back into the bag at first. Ricochets over into the Dodgers dugout.
And the 0-1 to eat the years outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Comebacker through the legs of Volstad and dropped by Castro twice. Well, I think if he picks it up that first time, he gets him. It was a bizarre looking ground ball. Went through the legs of the pitcher, but Castro was positioned perfectly, but he couldn't handle it.
And exactly the right spot. That ball hit right to him. Did take a little bit of a squirrely hop at the end, but he was looking up to the base runner when he was going after the ball. His head came up, picking up his target before he had a good handle on the ball.
Two errors and that at bat. And now Abreu with runners at first and third. Five nothing here. It's 8-0 at Fenway Park. The Orioles all over the Red Sox after Baltimore won a 4-hour 37-minute game late last night, 6-4 and 13. Red Sox are just 4-8 at home. The Orioles 9-5 on the road. I haven't really looked at a lot of Orioles lineups, Bob, but Mark Reynolds hitting 8 today for Buck Showalter. Has a home run. Just 167.
I think he's been hitting down near the bottom of their order quite a bit this year.
And somebody's been tossed in the Dodger dugout. Okay.
It's an odd one. Usually when it's the offensive team, I'm guessing it's the hitting coach.
It'll be Dave Hansen if it is the hitting coach.
Yeah, breaking ball down low. Abreu reacts at the plate and in support of his players. I'm guessing it was Dave Hansen. It could have been anybody in that Dodger dugout giving it to the home plate umpire, but usually it's the hitting coach sticking up for his player.
Well, I think I just saw Dave Hansen still standing in there, so we'll get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Fly ball left field, but it's going to twist out of play.
Ah, the irony. The umpire misses a call and a player gets ejected from the game for it.
Well, they're having a laugh, so to speak, in the Dodger dugout.
I'd like to know what was said because it's making all of his teammates laugh, whatever it was. With this little mini shift on for Bobby Abreu, he beat it last time, or rather his first at bat of the game, with a ground ball right down the third base line. But you can see what kind of a walking lead Mark Ellis can get down there at third base. There's nobody close to it. Anything that gets away, even the slightest amount from Giovanni Soto, he's probably going to try to score.
And Abreu went, and that ends the inning. They do add a couple. It's now 5-0 Dodgers.
Cubs. Fine Line gives you insider access to all your favorite Cubs from the past, present, and future. Subscriptions start at just $29.95. For more information and to order, visit Cubs.com/VineLine.
Well, we think it was Theodore Roosevelt Lilly who got tossed. Not scheduled to pitch in this series, and apparently he won't be able to watch from the bench.
Why does that not surprise me?
Soto takes a strike. Tony Campana is going to hit for Volstad. Rookie Lendy Castillo hasn't pitched in a while and is getting ready for the top of the 6th. Capuano's been in command throughout after getting out of a first inning jam. Hairston throws out Soto. Loney and Hairston are in at the corners. Actually, the guys in the middle move in a few steps as well against Campana. And here we go. Makes a curveball in the dirt for ball 1.
We saw D. Gordon take advantage of a drawn-in corner infielder, slapping that ball down into the right field corner. See Tony Campana do the same. Either way, got the third baseman and the first baseman drawn in.
Wide in the 1-1. Knee-high strike. Capuano's 1-2 offering. Low. Volstad in for Garza today, gave up 5 runs, all earned in 5 innings. And he's run at full 3-2. In that game in Boston today, Aaron Cook was making his Red Sox debut, and it did not go well, filling in for Josh Beckett. Couldn't get out of the 3rd, gave up 7 runs. Well, I'm sure the Red Sox fans gave him a break.
Yeah?
No. In fact, that was Aaron Cook's first major league appearance not in a Rockies uniform. Bounced back to Capuano. He'll underhand to Loney. Wednesday, Starlin Castro and the Cubs welcome in Michael Bourne and the Braves right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Coverage kicks off at 12:30 with Subaru Cubs pregame live. Cubs and Braves Wednesday 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend. Chatting with Wellington Castillo in the Cubs dugout. 2 outs. Nobody on. Only 1 hit for the Cubs. That was a Castro single in the first inning. Capuano's thrown a lot of strikes that have been right on the edges today.
He's thrown a lot of strikes that haven't been near the edge. And David DeJesus is in the hole 0-2 right now, and our pitch tracks would tell you that neither one of those pitches was close to the outside corner.
Well, he has certainly taken advantage of the Tim Timmons strike zone,
which varies drastically from the strike zone as it's written in the rule book. I'm gonna have to get off this because I'm telling you, every day we see numerous missed ball strike calls.
Abreu got a late break as he comes way in to make a catch with a big red glove. 5-0 Dodgers after 5.
Game live. Dave Kaplan and Todd Hollinsworth break down the game and preview the Cubs' next matchup. Don't miss Horseshoe Casino Cubs post-game live immediately following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Been a while for rookie right-hander Lendy Castillo. His last outing came on April 20th. Works in relief of Chris Volstad today. Jerry Hairston will lead it off. Hairston has grounded out twice. Fastball at 92. or a called strike. It's been a couple of weeks for Castillo. Way outside that time, 1-1.
Well, obviously the Cubs think very highly of the future for Lendy Castillo, but it's unfortunate because he is a Rule 5 draft pick. They have to keep him up here on the major league roster, and because he was so ineffective earlier in the season, he just hasn't gotten much work at all.
Carries a slider in the dirt. 2-2. Johan Santana back and healthy with the Mets. Been off to a good start in terms of his ERA, but still looking for his first win. He's 0-2. And will face another left-hander, Patrick Corbin, today. Diamondbacks and Mets in New York a little later on. I don't know what day it was, but you and I were hanging in the booth, and I was looking at some of the pitching numbers going back to 1980. Walk rates, strikeout rates, that kind of thing. As Stewart will throw to LaHare for the out. And Johan Santana rates out very well against the guys of the era: Roger Clemens, Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, Curt Schilling. He's in the upper part of many of those categories. Johan Santana.
Look at that Bugs Bunny changeup. Remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoon playing baseball when the opposing pitcher threw the ball so slowly, or rather Bugs threw the ball so slowly the batter swung at it 3 times before it got to home plate.
Loney clubs one to center, but it'll be caught by Mather.
Bugs had good stuff. Too bad we couldn't get him in the Rule 5 draft.
Here's Trainers at a nice day, a sac fly, a single and a run, and he's catching a shutout.
Smart fingers today for Matt Trainer. Help me, please.
If you're going to make it through the season.
I don't know. I guess I just don't know what a strike zone is anymore.
De Jesus and right to end the inning. A 1-2-3 for Castillo. Still 5-zip Dodgers. It was you running onto the field. Now envision being able to give that experience to your best clients when the Cubs are on the road. Packages range from private dinners all the way to games and home run derbies in the outfield. For more details, call 773-404-4161 or visit Cubs.com/premier. Stuck with the same promo all the way through that time.
That's good.
Yeah, actually works.
I like it when you mix it up a little bit, though.
Okay. Joe Mather, 0 for 2.
Oh.
Ball 1.
Oh.
That was a pitch Capuano had been getting all day. Swing and a miss on a change. 1-1.
There are a lot of random occurrences in the game of baseball, but the strike zone shouldn't be one of them.
Low and in, 2-1.
Oh, brother. You know what I'd have hit nowadays? I'd have hit about 102. And I'd have probably been ejected, I don't know, 5 times a week. I'd be sitting up there with Ted Lilly right now.
I mean, how does the strike zone look from the dugouts? We get a pristine view from our center field shot.
From the dugouts, especially here at Wrigley, where you're below field level, as that ball's popped onto the left side. Looks like D. Gordon's going to make the play on this one right behind the mound. You can really only tell high and low because of your angle looking in toward home plate. And if you watch how the catcher moves before he sets up to receive the pitch, you have a pretty good idea of in and out. But the reality is the dugout is not the best vantage point for trying to judge the strike zone.
We'll give you a side view here.
Yeah, from that side view, that's approximately the end of that first base dugout. And it looked like that on that particular pitch, Trainer did not move too much to one corner or the other. So if you assume he's sitting right down the middle and catches the ball right in front of his body, then it should be on the plate. But really the only thing you can see from the dugout is up and down. The really skewed vantage point apparently is right behind the catcher. I'm wondering if it wouldn't help to go back to the old outside chest protectors. Ball bounced foul down the third base line to Jerry Hairston Jr. This is kind of the view you get from the first base dugout. I'd have to say that pitch was probably going to be low had Starlin Castro not swung at it, just based on where the catcher was reaching for the pitch. I mean, some of you may be too young to remember, but back in the day, umpires used to wear a big, like an inflatable, I don't know what else to call it, but it was a big kind of a U-shaped,
thickly padded.
Yeah, very thickly padded, inflated thing, and they put their arms through the shoulder straps, and it had a handle in the back that you held, and you put the mask right up against the top of that inflatable chest protector, and you could get right above the head of the catcher, sit right in the middle of the plate. But the evolution of the protective gear for the umpires, you see the chest protector is now underneath and is much, much smaller. The umpires, rather than sit in the middle of the plate, now usually sit on the inside corner of the batter. And
look how far off the plate Timmons is. That one roped into left for a one-out single, and Castro has both Cubs hits.
Yeah, and when you get a catcher that moves onto the inside corner. The umpire has to move even further inside to get a view of the pitch, and there is no way you know where the outside corner is. If you're sitting that far over behind the right-handed batter's box, you just have to guess where that outside corner is.
LaHair has walked both times. And bats with Castro at first and 1 out.
Brian LaHair hasn't seen many pitches to swing at in this game today. Back-to-back walks in the first and the fourth. A good time to get a hanger right here.
A good rip at it. 1-1.
Remember back in 03, Len, Chris Capuano did something I'd never seen a pitcher do before. I mean, on a ground ball to the infield, it's not unusual to see the catcher run down to back up the play at first. If the ground ball's hit to the left side of the infield, the second baseman will also run over to back up the play at first. But on a ground ball to the right side of the infield, Chris Capuano sprinted from the mound straight across the first baseline to get himself into a backup position as the second baseman made the throw to first. And unfortunately, he ran into the baseman. I'd never, ever seen that before.
No. They will turn it. A little while for LaHair to get out of the box as he really got jammed on that pitch. 5-0. Budweiser Bleachers. The Budweiser Bleachers Suite features a sports bar atmosphere with new TVs, bar-style tables, and windows. It opened to give you the atmosphere of the bleachers in your own private room. The suite can hold up to 100 guests and includes food, drinks, and parking. For more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-4200. Third plate appearance for Chris Capuano as he will lead off the 7th. against rookie Lendy Castillo. Worked a 1-2-3 sixth. Roberto Garza, Chris Williams, Bears offensive lineman, will harmonize the 7th inning stretch. Well, we didn't see Matt Garza, but we will see Roberto, and we hope to see Matt tomorrow when he is uncertain because he's been under the weather the last couple of days. Chris Volstad moved up to pitch in Garza's spot today. 1-1. Capuano bounces foul. Past former Cub Davey Lopes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big Wrigley crowd today, 39,874 as D. Gordon digs in. Fastball in there for a strike. Nationals have taken a 5-1 lead over the Phillies in the 7th. Ian Desmond and Jason Worth have homered. Lance Worley gave up 11 hits. It's caught by DeJesus. 2 outs.
Your bodyguards are here, Len.
Roberto Garza and Chris Williams getting ready for the stretch. One 0 on the way, and a base hit out into left center. And that'll bring up Matt Kemp with a sacrifice fly his last time up. Bob, you look at Chris Volstad's day today, the 5 innings. He had 3 1-2-3 frames. The only 2 innings he didn't go 1-2-3 were the scoring innings. It continues to be. When he gives up base runners, he seems to give up runs.
Could be something to do with pitching out of the stretch. You know, when he stayed in the windup, as you said, 3 1-2-3 innings, but in the 2nd and again in the 5th, when he was forced to go into the stretch after the first batter of the inning, that's when he struggled.
First time Castillo's had a runner on in his 2 innings, and that caught the inside corner.
Stopped by Gio that time. Castillo really pulled that breaking ball over there, kind of climbed up his glove into his chest, off his arm. Fortunately stays close enough to hold that runner at first base.
Two and one. Aramis Ramirez, big go-ahead 2-run single late last night as the Brewers beat the Giants 6-4. San Francisco's lost 4 in a row. They'll go at it again here shortly. Andy Wolf and Madison Bumgarner.
Kung Fu Panda Pablo Sandoval out 4 to 6 weeks. With surgery to repair that broken hamate bone yesterday.
Connor Gillespie in the Giants lineup today at third. Two to Kemp. There it is. Fouled back. And these are not your dad's San Francisco Giants. You've got Brett Pillen left, Joaquin Arias at short, Hector Sanchez catching, and Connor Gillespie at third. At the top, 2 former Cubs, Angel Pagan and Ryan Theriot. Step off by Castillo. Fly ball to right. De Jesus running hard, and he has it. Time now for the Captain Morgan 7th inning stretch.
Conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Chicago Bears lineman Roberto Garza and Chris Williams.
All right, fans, let me hear you. 1, 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
For Roberto Garza, roll number 63. Ceremonial first pitch today. And he's in the booth with us as he gets set for the bottom of the 7th. Chris Capuano still in there. Has allowed 2 singles to Starlin Castro. That's been it. And Roberto, welcome back to Wrigley Field. Nice to see you.
Well, thank you for having me.
A 12-year veteran. Wow.
Don't say that too loud. They might hear you. You know? They start thinking you're old at some point.
I want to ask you about playing center. How big a transition has it been for you as Gordon will sling across and Maloney stayed on the bag for the out?
Well, I actually came out of the center. Obviously, that was 10 years ago. The whole time I played in Atlanta and with the Bears, I've been playing right guard or left guard. So it was a position that I knew, but it was just been a while since I played it. But fortunate for me, I think all that experience playing guard and has helped me make that transition a little bit easier. So it helped out, you know, and I felt comfortable. It took me a while to get comfortable in there, but I think Coach Tice and obviously Jay were patient with me, and I was able to, you know, go out there and do my job.
Speaking of Mike Tice, takes on some added responsibility this year as the offensive coordinator, or the OC, as they say these days.
The lingo.
The lingo, yes. How do you think he'll do?
You know, he's a great coach. Played for 14 years, been coaching for over 14 years, so he's got a lot of experience, seen everything, very detail-oriented, so we're looking forward to a big explosive year. Obviously, he's got that experience from being a head coach down with the Vikings, and we're just going to carry what his whole personality is onto the field. He's obviously being explosive with the running game, and obviously take advantage of what the defense gives you with obviously Brandon Marshall and you know, the Devin Hester and the new guys that we got coming in.
He does smile, right? I don't know if I've ever seen it.
That and the pencil, right? Obviously a very intense coach. He's good at what he does, and obviously we have to carry that onto the field.
1-2 to Ian Stewart. Bounced up the middle and deflected by Gordon, and Stewart's not going to take a chance with his team down 5 runs, so that's a 1-out single.
I'll tell you what, we've talked about D. Gordon throughout this series. Man, does he cover some ground at shortstop. We've talked about his speed on the bases. He's on the second base side of the bag out there. Tried to smother that ball and keep it in front. It gets far enough away that Ian Stewart's able to reach.
There's Carlos Marmol, who has lost his closer role. And apparently he's going to get at least an inning here today. As Darwin Barney will come up. 1 on, 1 out. Well, keeping the guy who takes the snaps from you healthy all year, that obviously is a huge key to this team's success, isn't it?
Absolutely. We were a good football team last year, and then we had those injuries to Matt, Jay, and Johnny Knox. Obviously, we'll get you know, those guys back, and they're a critical part of our offense. And with the changes we're doing to our offense, we'll be able to take advantage of what defenses are giving us and get those big plays in the passing game and the running game.
Without giving away too many secrets, Roberto, how much trash talking goes on between the offensive and defensive lines? I mean, obviously you're focused on what the play is, but before and after the play, how much jawing do you do with guys on the other side? You try not to do that much?
You know, there's certain guys that get under your skin sometimes, and you kind of go after them. But for the most part, you're out there trying to do your job, and if it leads to some of that, you know, you can enjoy that part of it.
Sure. You ever say something and later think to yourself, I can't believe I just said that, as Barney strikes out?
No, I mean, you pretty much have control of what you're saying. So, you know exactly what you're doing and why you're saying it.
Roberto, how do you get along with the officials?
It depends if I get called for something, you know.
How much guidance do you get on some holding penalties, and will the officials sometimes tell you exactly what you did and say, no, if you do this, or do you ask occasionally? Because I know sometimes the rules change on a year-to-year basis.
Well, you know, it all depends on who's obviously officiating. Every guy's different, and they try to do a good job and try to tell you why they called you and whatnot. And obviously, we never hold, so I don't know why they called us.
Well, it looks like he could call a penalty on either side on every play. Do you think that's accurate? If they really looked for it, could they?
Well, obviously, as a player, I'm going to say no. But, you know, obviously stuff goes on down in the trenches, and that's part of the game. And, you know, you get away with some and they get some. So, obviously, when it's in your favor, it's the best thing that can happen.
Oh, only the bad calls are the ones that go against your team. We know that.
Well, your partner Chris Williams snuck out of here before we could ask him. Did you know he was a hockey guy?
Really?
Apparently he went to a Black Sox game for the drop the puck and shoot at the little small opening in the net. He made 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never done it before.
Supposedly.
Right, that's what he says. Yes.
No, he's a good athlete. You know, we're lucky to have him on our team, and he's done well. This is, his second time as well being out here with us, and fortunate to have him. Obviously he was another guy that we lost through an injury too. So getting him back on the field is going to be huge for our offense as well.
0-2 to Soto. Fly ball out into shallow center. Long run, the slide. What a catch by Matt Kemp. That guy does it all. A great sliding grab by Kemp. Roberto Garza, thanks for the time. Best of luck coming up for the Bears in 2012.
Thank you.
Against the Braves starting on Monday. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. A solid job by Lendy Castillo today. We mentioned the fact he hasn't had an opportunity to pitch very much, only in lopsided games one way or the other, but 2 strong innings of 1-hit shutout baseball, and he'll give way to displaced closer Carlos Marmol.
He just needs to string a few good innings back to back to back. Get some confidence back. Dale talked about the fine line yesterday in terms of Marmol and his slider. It's the pitch that has made him successful as a 9th inning pitcher. But ultimately, it can't be your only pitch. And it's the fastball the Cubs would like to see him throw more often. And there is a fastball. It's outside for ball 1. We talked about the fewer swings and misses the last year plus. Bob, I think fewer swings is probably more accurate. Way inside 2-0. We just didn't see the Reds be very aggressive against him in that outing on Thursday.
And quite honestly, we were surprised that more teams didn't try that approach against Carlos Marmol. But I am by no means a pitching mechanics guy. But you can watch Carlos Marmol's delivery. That front foot comes down, the upper body falls toward the first base side, and sometimes it falls a little further than others. And depending on where his upper body and his head go, his arm is going to kind of follow and be in a different slot on almost every delivery. When he's been consistent with his mechanics, even falling off to the first base side, but doing it the same way every pitch, that's when he's been able to throw strikes.
Sticking with a fastball here. It's 3-2. First slider misses low and inside for ball 4. Now he did walk Ethier, but I think the sequence there is interesting. 5 fastballs and then the slider. Just wasn't well located. And you can see here clearly an effort to change up the repertoire at least a little bit. And Abreu went around on a slider.
It's Abreu's first look ever against Carlos Marmol, at least during the regular season. He may have seen him in spring training over the years, but
got away on a wild pitch. Ethier advances to second.
And slider down and in. Almost hit Abreu. It did hit Abreu on the toe. See by the way he reacted right there. Or maybe he was just trying to sell it. I'm not so sure. Either way, he's back in the batter's box with a runner at second base. We talked about Bobby Abreu in the ball game yesterday when he came on to pinch hit and then stayed in the game in left field. He was a odd combination of talents. One of only 4 players in Major League history with at least 500 doubles, 250 home runs, and 350 steals. 13 consecutive seasons of 20 or more stolen bases.
Very durable as a Philly. Always near the top of the league in pitches seen. Ian Stewart for the first out.
I think Bobby Abreu is going to be a good addition to this Dodgers ball club before all is said and done. The big key is whether he's willing to accept that role as a part-time player, as a pinch hitter. Came into the ball game as a double switch late in the game for Don Mattingly.
Ball 1 to Hairston. It's outside. Jamie Moyer goes for the Rockies tonight. Facing a left-hander Mike Minor of the Braves. Moyer 1-2 with a 3.14 ERA. 49 years old. And all Dodgers today and all Chris Capuano. He has held the Cubs to just 3 hits. Slider missed. It's full, 3-2. He pops it up. Darwin Barney now comes in. So 2 down, and it's James Loney. There have been 4 consecutive complete game shutouts dealt at Angel Stadium. Right-hander Henderson Alvarez, the latest, a 6-hitter for the Blue Jays last night. 4-0 the final. Albert Pujols has not homered in 33 games and 137 at bats. He's hitting 194.
And we talked about the slow start he got off to last year with the Cardinals, and people were starting to doubt whether Albert still had it, but he rebounded, had another big season, led the Cardinals to the World Series. To really turn it around to win back those fans in Anaheim, and he's going to be there for a while. So the sooner the better for Big Albert. Start to get booed in your home ballpark. First year of a long-term contract.
Well, it's a telling stat, I think. He has, in his career, he's walked a lot more than he struck out, which is not what you normally see from a power hitter. He's walked only 6 times and struck out 15. Well, he might be expanding his strike zone a little bit. And when he's at his best, he doesn't do that. Loney strikes out, so Marmol dealt with a little bit of a command issue, but a scoreless 8.
Kim Noah injury update. Also Kentucky Derby highlights. Join Chris for Sportsnet Central, presented by AT&T Uverse, tonight at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
A couple of changes for the Dodgers. The most significant being the new pitcher, right-hander Ronald Belisario, who was recently activated from the suspended list. He replaced Mike McDougal on the active roster. McDougal was designated for assignment. Tony Gwynn Jr. comes into play left. And the Cubs will counter with a pinch hitter, Blake DeWitt.
I believe the Cubs offensively are operating on that ABC theory right now. Anybody but Capuano.
First pitch by Belisario in the big league since 2010. It has been quite an odyssey for the Maracay, Venezuela native. He just finished serving a 25-game suspension for violating MLB's drug policy as DeWitt fouls that ball off his foot. There's Michael Bowden up in the Cubs bullpen. In 2009 and then 2010, Belisario dealt with visa issues both years, so he was late to spring training. Last year he didn't pitch at all because of visa and legal problems in his home country. Well, he's back.
He's back.
Had a really good rookie year in 2009. Had a 2.04 ERA in 69 appearances. So Maloney to the bag, unassisted.
Wasn't Belisario one of the primary setup guys for Jonathan Broxton when he was closing for the Dodgers?
Well, we saw Chris Capuano at his best. Seven shutout innings today. Capuano now at 19 consecutive shutout innings. What was he, about 40 short of Oral Hershiser?
He's on his way, though.
Ground ball to D. Gordon. And he recovered in time to get to Jesus. We've seen some tricky hops on the infield today. And Gordon able to recover just in time.
Now the grounds crew here at Wrigley had to put some diamond dry on the field before the ball game, specifically in that area right there at shortstop. And you can see Loney was able to keep his foot on the bag. And occasionally you get some of that diamond dry surface on there and the ball doesn't take the same kind of hop that it would normally take off of pristine infield dirt. Infielders for both teams have had some issues today.
Joe Mather with 2 outs. Rather 1 out. No, with 2 outs. That's a strike on the outside corner. 0-2 on Joe Mather.
Dodgers are in kind of the same situation with the Cubs as far as the balance in their bullpen. Only one left-handed reliever for the Cubs, only one lefty reliever for the Dodgers right now.
Two-two.
Which really isn't that huge of an issue for most teams if you've got a right-hander or two that can retire lefties effectively. It's always nice to have a second left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. James Russell, the lone lefty for the Cubs right now.
Foul tip, strike 3. So Belisario's season debut starts off well with a 1-2-3-8. .com. Oh, sorry. How's the largest on the selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the Cubs.com shop.
Don't wake the baby.
There's Michael Bowden. Fourth Cubs pitcher today. Got a nice note from Kevin Kubicek, who wants to wish Rodney Robertson and Amber a happy life together.
Slight delay, a little misfire in center field as Joe Mather threw the warm-up ball up to the bleachers, and uncharacteristically, one of the Cubs fans dropped it back onto the warning track.
Matt Trainer's had an interesting career. He was drafted in 1994 by the Kansas City Royals. He would not make his major league debut until 10 years later, but for the most part he's been here since he came up. He spent a decade toiling in the minors. But since 2004, he's only had just a handful of games in the minor leagues. And I think a lot of those were rehab stints coming back from the DL. You spend as much time in the minors as a guy like Trainer has. You don't want to spend too much time back there, no matter what the situation is. Castro will spin, fire, and get him. Oh, I guess every once in a while, a little reminder of the difference in travel and accommodations is probably a good thing for the soul, right?
Humbles you a little bit. It's back to your roots and makes you appreciate how much you love being in the big leagues. it really does get down to the essence of the game. In the big leagues, go to the ballpark and there might be 30, 40, 50,000 people in the stands. Pre-game food, post-game food, brand new uniforms, best equipment. And then you go back to the minor leagues, even if it's just for an injury rehab, as you mentioned, and you'd be lucky if you get peanut butter in the clubhouse before the game on crackers. You might be playing in front of a couple of hundred people. I mean, you can hear every word said from all the fans in the stands as well as both dugouts. It really just gets down to playing baseball. That's why you're there.
2-1 on Gwynn.
A lot of the minor league parks are much improved over what it used to be back in my playing days and before, but still, there's nothing like a big league clubhouse. If you want it and they don't have it, they'll get it for you quickly. In the minor leagues, if you want it and they don't have it, too bad. Live without it.
Bowden's 3-1. Fastball on the outside, 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Elevated fastball from Michael Bowden. That's kind of an unorthodox delivery. Very much over the top.
D. Gordon with 2 outs, nobody on. And floated out into left center, a base hit, his second hit of the day. It's only the 6th hit for the Dodgers. He scored 3 runs on 2 hits in the second. Called strike to Mark Ellis.
Also a couple of walks in that second inning, an intentional walk and an unintentional walk, and a sac fly by the catcher Matt Trainer. Counted for the Dodgers 3 runs in that second inning, and they just haven't looked back.
Well, we know Aaron Harang will go for the Dodgers tomorrow. Cubs are hoping it'll be Matt Garza. If not, probably left-hander Travis Wood, who would be called up from AAA Iowa. There's Aaron Harang. Two-hopper to Ian Stewart. He'll take the short throw to Barney, and that's the inning. Bottom of the ninth, last chance now for the Cubs, trailing 5-0. Dodgers starter, left-hander Chris Capuano, appears to be on his way to a 4-0 start this season. So Cubs can mount a huge ninth-inning comeback. Here's veteran righty Jamie Wright. He's given up just 3 hits in 10 innings. He's walked a bunch of guys.
That's kind of been the story of his career. Really good arm, just can't consistently find the strike zone.
Castro 2 out of 3. Both hits had been singles. Big cut and foul by Castro. Great work by our entire CSN crew today. And producer Mark Brady. Short right and a 3-hit afternoon for Castro. Cubs need base runners. Dave Turner, our director, Kian Dolit-Shahi. Nice job filling in here the last couple of weeks with Tamara Anderson working Bulls coverage, associate producer. Paula Ostroba, our stage manager in the booth, and our great crew handling the elements once again. At least some of them.
Yeah, it's certainly not unusual for us to get caught by surprise by the weather, but our camera guys are right on top. Oh, yeah. They never get caught by surprise here at Wrigley Field.
LaHare with 1 on, nobody out. Castro take off for second. Will not be credited with a stolen base. Two and 0. The final in Washington, 7-1, the Nationals over the Phillies. Gio Gonzalez improving to 3-1. He beat Vance Worley in front of over 39,000. Nationals are 18-9. Chad Tracy got the start at first base, went 3 for 4 with a home run. LaHare strikes out.
Yeah, Bryce Harper went 0 for 4 in that ball game and was immediately sent back to AAA. No, just kidding.
LaHare was arguing he got a piece of that, but to no avail. It'll be very interesting to see if Bryce Harper ever goes back to the minor leagues. We'll see. Still very early on.
Didn't look like Brian LaHare got a piece of that breaking ball in the dirt. Ooh.
sinker pounded on the ground as Gordon will get Soriano. Two outs, runner at third. And it's Ian Stewart. He's trying to break up the shutout. Cubs now with a runner at third for only the second time today. The other time was in the very first inning when they left the bases loaded. Now that leadoff single by Castro was only the second hit allowed by Jamie Wright to a right-handed hitter all year. Oh, 0-2. In terms of stuff, I mean, you mentioned it. As long as Jamie Wright's been in the big leagues, you see he's got crazy movement on every pitch.
Really good late break on that sinking fastball. Tight rotation on the curve. Had his share of injury problems, but it is keeps coming back to the inability to consistently throw strikes.
Close, 2-2.
Breaking ball trying to work its way back to the outside corner, but stayed out there a little too far.
And the Cubs do break up the shutout as Stewart hits that high fastball into left center for an RBI single. It's 5-1.
Nice piece of hitting that time by Ian Stewart. Really let that ball get deep into the hitting zone. Used a lot of hands and that gap out in left center field for an RBI base hit.
Looks like they're going to get up their closer just in case here as Stewart takes off for second. Javi Guerra just grabbed a baseball. Kenley Jansen was throwing earlier, so Guerra's going to start throwing if another guy reaches. You know, some fans may say, well, why wouldn't Don Mattingly get his closer ready now? Well, you like to save those bullets as long as you can on a day like this when you start the inning with a 5-0 lead. A chopper back to right. This will do it. A toss to Loney, and the Dodgers have evened up this series at a game apiece. Cubs do get one in the ninth. At the final score, the Dodgers 5 and the Cubs 1. And this was all about Chris Capuano for the Dodgers. And really one big inning. The Dodgers had a couple of scoring innings, but it was that 3-run second that really set the tone.
Yeah, once again, Len, until the Cubs offense starts to click, until they start to hit a few more home runs and have the ability to get yourself back into ball games, a 3-run inning early is going to be tough to overcome.
So tomorrow again, we're still awaiting word on whether or not Matt Garza will be available to start that game. It will be Aaron Harang for the Dodgers in the rubber match. So for Bob and our entire CSN crew, Len Casper saying so long from Wrigley Field. The final score once again, the Dodgers 5, the Cubs 1. Please join us Wednesday at 1 here on CSN. The Cubs host the Atlanta Braves in their third and final game of this upcoming series. In-game scoring provided by ScorePad.